Okay. Of course, my dad would call as soon as I start. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that intro. That was really sweet. And yes, Lauren and I met at Summit in New Orleans, and we were both, yeah, like she said, pretty fresh. So it was nice to have someone there to kind of relay info to, because I think there was only like five of us who really like knew each other then. And this year there was like 20. So anyway, okay, so my name is Courtney. I have been coaching for a little over 2 years. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm originally from Jefferson City, Missouri, and that's where we're headed right now, back home to visit family. And I have a husband and two pups, and we just moved to Tulsa probably, how long were we there? 4 years. Yeah. So we've been there for 4 years, and I started coaching, 2 years into living in Tulsa. So one of the main reasons that I started coaching was because I knew no one when we moved to Tulsa. Like, we knew no one. So having this community of coaching and coaches was seriously amazing. And it still, to this day, just astonishes me, like, how close you can be with someone. Like, I literally met Lauren and I had no idea who she was, and now we're like such good friends. We keep in touch, and it's just like, I love Xavier. I try to follow him all the time, but it's crazy because you never know who you're going to meet in this opportunity. So anyway, back to the beginning of when I first started coaching. I was following my coach at the time. Her name was Shay. Now my coach is Meg. But I was following her at the time, and she had made a post about how she paid for an unexpected car bill. And if you knew me in high school or college, you know that I was the queen of the worst cars on earth. Like, I got my cars from Matilda's dad, basically, because I had cars that were like bungee corded to, the doors were bungee corded shut. I had hubcaps falling off as I drove away. So that post was so personal to me that I reached out to her and I said, okay, how much are you really making? Like, how much is that unexpected car bill? And what are you doing? What is this coaching? So she threw me in a sneak peek. And about a week later, I was like, okay, I think I want to do this. My first 6 months of coaching, I was struggle bus coach. I was super inconsistent. I was not posting every single day. I was posting maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And I used the excuse a lot that my coach, Shay, at the time, she didn't, so why should I? And I used that for a really long time, even probably my first year of coaching. I used that excuse to not do it because she didn't. And then I finally got Meg, and it's like my coaching really started when I had Meg as a mentor. So you guys are so lucky to have Lauren as your mentor, because there's no excuse not to follow her lead. I mean, just by following her example of staying consistent, telling your story, and posting every single day is something that's like my number one tip, is just to do that. But anyway, so I didn't hit Success Club for the first 6 months. I didn't hit Success Starter. Like Lauren said, I'm the true definition of, like, I've probably done something wrong, but I almost really like that, because now I know how to train my coaches and how to teach my coaches what to do. So anyway, also I was a college athlete, so I've always loved fitness, but I knew nothing about nutrition before I became a coach. Like, I was a lean pocket kind of girl. I was a bag rice. So learning about nutrition is something that I post about all the time. You really just have to take stories from your life and make it into a post. Where Lauren and I are both in this training group, and one of the main things they're trying to push right now is telling your story and painting that picture. painting that picture for people. And that really is what it is all about. So just using past stories in your life. And I would say 90% of the time, I come up with those memories because I'm listening to personal development. So something that I listen to triggers a memory for me, and then I post about it. So definitely do your personal development, because again, did not do a single thing of personal development in probably the first 6 months, because my coach didn't. So why should I? And I would attest that that is one of the main things of why I struggled, why I struggled to come up with post ideas. Yeah, so personal development is huge. So let's see. Another huge reason why I started coaching, so other than the nutrition, I wanted to learn more about nutrition. Plus, I love working out, but I always had this mentality of, well, I can eat whatever I want because I worked out, so I had to change that mindset. But I am a director of catering at a Marriott, so I do have a full-time job. I truly do love my job at the Marriott, but I felt like at the end of the day, I am basically a glorified event planner. So if that event didn't get planned, I don't think anybody would care, So sorry, my dad keeps calling. And I know all he's asking about is Greg and golfing, so it's not that important. Okay, so I can't even remember. Oh, Marriott. So yeah, so I felt like at the end of the day, if an event didn't get planned, it wasn't that big of a deal, and I didn't really feel like I was having that big of an impact in society or in the world. So I found this coaching, and yes, my why of when I started may have been because I want to, help myself be more accountable, or learn more about nutrition. And I've always loved fitness, but now it's turned into so much bigger than that, because now I feel like I truly have a purpose. I truly have a passion for doing this and changing people's lives. And that's just it. That's the best part, is that you get to you feel like, and you are changing people's lives for the better. So this is a career that you get to be so fulfilled, and it's so rewarding, and it's a freaking job. So that was a huge reason for me. And you can change your why. If you've been doing this for a couple months, even, it can be you start for one reason and you continue for another. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. So I would say probably some of my top tips are, one, I would say just throw out whatever excuses you have, because like I said, I was one of those coaches who I don't even think I would say I was actively coaching my entire first year, because I was using that excuse of my coach isn't teaching me what to do. I didn't even know what inviting was, because I asked her one time and she said, I don't do that. So I use that as an excuse, and now I use it as a almost a drive to invite 20 people a day and just crush it because I was so behind that first year, it felt like. So anyway, I went to Summit. I think Summit, and I heard people say this and I was like, what's the big deal? But I went to Summit last year for the first time. I had been coaching over a year. I was still Emerald, and I went to Summit in July, and it changed everything for me. And that August, I was Diamond. So literally a month later, I advanced in rank to Diamond, which you guys know is hard and so rewarding, but it can be done. It is one of those things that it seems like it's so far out of reach, but it is, if you just put your head down and grind and just try to help people and just try to change lives by telling your story through your posts and your story through your Instagram stories, then people are going to be drawn to you. And when you are sending that invite, when you are sending the invite for your challenge group or for your sneak peek, they're more likely going to be like, okay, yeah, I actually connected with one of her posts 3 weeks ago. Maybe I should talk to her. So even if they're not commenting on your specific post about like, comment an emoji below, even if they're not doing that, you still need to be reaching out to people because they might be too nervous to come to you. So anyway, be consistent, do your vitals. That's just, everyone says that, but it's so true. Just be coachable too, because I was definitely not either. At first, when Meg was telling me what to do, I was like, no, that's not how I learned. But obviously, how I learned was the wrong way. So just be coachable and listen to what your coaches are telling you to do, because obviously success leaves clues. And if they're successful, or if they're not successful at one thing and they're telling you don't do this, then listen to them. So yeah, be coachable, paint a picture about your life in your posts, and not every post needs to be 17 paragraphs long, but mix those in there, and mix some funny and some serious, and that's really it.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much. I know you're pressed for time, but do you care if let me see if anyone has any questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone? Hold on. I'm trying to see for everyone.
Do you just do Instagram, or do you do Facebook as well?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, I actually do both. When we first started 2 years ago, Instagram stories were not a thing, and Instagram was not as big as it is now. So I still do Facebook. I don't think the like page is really a thing right now. I still have mine up, but I don't use that like page very often. But I post on my personal Facebook and post on my Instagram, both. And usually I just copy and paste the exact same post to make it easy.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? We good? I'm trying to look.
I would say too, one like homework that I always give like people that I guest speak on their calls is to, and I'm sure you guys already know something along the lines of this, but I would say two things. One, think about who you are outside of coaching. I don't know if you listened to it yet or not, Lauren, but Ashley Molstead posted that video today, and yeah, and she's a badass, but she is like, I am not Beachbody. I am my own person, and Beachbody is the business, yes, but she acts like she is not selling Beachbody. She is selling herself. And I love that so much, because you have to be different in this business than every other coach, or people on your social media are going to say, okay, just another one of those Beachbody coaches. You have to be different. You have to relate to people and share your struggles and share your story. And first thing is just think about who you are outside of coaching, and maybe think about those stories that made you who you are, and post about them. I posted the other day about how I was 16 and 3 sheets to the wind, and I had a party at my parents' house, and the cops showed up. So yeah, it's little stories like that I think people can just kind of relate to, and it makes it comical. Probably not for my parents, but and then the second homework assignment would be just to come up with one word that would describe you in coaching. So for me, mine right now anyway is purpose. I feel like I didn't have one in my career before, and now that this is my second career for me, it can be my career that I have purpose with, and I can change lives. So that's my 2 homework assignments.
Ooh, I love that. I am writing that down. Find one word that say that again.
One word that you would use to describe yourself about coaching.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome. Awesome. Hold on, I'm finishing writing it because I know I'll totally forget it. Oh my goodness. All right. Does anyone have anything more from that?
I actually have a quick question. When you said to throw out the excuses you may have, how did you like come about throwing those out? Because I feel like I come up with excuses about posting different things and I can't like figure out how am I going to throw this out of my head to where I come up with the courage to post it.
So I listen to a lot of personal development. Mastering Your Mean Girl is a really great one for that, for this specific topic. She talks a lot about like creating a legacy, and at the end of the day, in 80 years from now, are you going to look back and be like, oh man, you know, I really wish I wouldn't have used that excuse? Or are you going to look back and say, you know what, I didn't succeed in that because I used the excuse of what will others think of me because I post? You know, no one's going to look back in 80 years and be like, do you remember that time she posted a picture of her and her son? No, it's not, you know, they're not going to say that. So just be real and be you. And if you're not being like, if you're just not being fake and not posting the exact same thing every single day, then yeah, I think it's I don't know, you just at some point you just have to stop caring what other people are going to think about you when you post, or you know, when you reach out to them. I don't know. And I will say Summit really helps with this too, because you see like thousands of other coaches that have been able to get rid of their excuses, and from all walks of life. Like this year at Summit, Emily Favre was on stage, and she was, you know, in foster care, and she had siblings that died, and then this year had 4 miscarriages. So you know that there's people from all walks of life that have been able to make this work, and you can too. Why not you?
Love it. Love it. So much good stuff there. Eee. All right. Well, we will not keep you any longer. And I am sure your dad, if he's anything like my dad, probably is thinking everything in the world is wrong. They've wrecked. They've done all this stuff. So we will let you go so you can call him back. But Courtney, thank you so much for taking the time and giving us some love. It's always so nice to just hear from someone else that's kind of doing the same thing. It's just nice to hear another person's perspective and journey too. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Have a good rest of your night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies. Well, I am recording this. I will post it in the team page. All right.